Hey everybody, I wanted to share a story with you guys just because there's a lot of negativity going on right now, especially on social media. I just want to share a story that made me happy, so I thought maybe it'd make you guys happy too. So when I was a kid, we lived in Xenia, and my grandparents lived in Sugar Creek Township. And right behind our house was Lower Bellbrook Road. So we'd go over there a couple times a week and we'd take Lower Bellbrook because it was the easiest way to get there. And right at the end of Lower Bellbrook, across the Little Miami River, and there's a straightaway, which is flat road for, I don't know, maybe 3/4 of a mile. And off to the left, a big open field, a big old barn in this field. About 100 yards to the left of the barn, there was another small barn shed thing. And in the winter, if you looked up on the hill, a lot of the leaves are gone. You could see the remnants of some kind of house or shed or something, and it was really cool. I loved that part of our journey to my grandparents' house because I love this big old barn. And as the years went on, the barn started to fall apart, as old barns do. Door would fall down. A couple months later, another door would fall down. A year later, part of the roof would collapse. And as the years went on, I learned how to drive and went to my grandparents' house pretty often to see them. And it was my favorite part of the drive to their house. It was this big old field, this big old barn. Well, eventually, the barn completely collapsed. It was just flat, just a bunch of boards, you know. And eventually, my grandparents moved to Xenia, be closer to my parents. And I moved to Kettering. Didn't have any reason to drive down Lower Bellbrook Road anymore. See the big field. So one day, we're going to my parents' house. And I'm like, let's take Lower Bellbrook for old time's sake. So, go through downtown Bellbrook and drive by the field. There's a sign in the field. And the barn's gone completely. No debris or anything. The sign says Morris Reserve. I'm like, what the heck's Morris Reserve? So, look it up. And sometime in, I think, 2015, the Bellbrook Sugar Creek Parks Department, with some kind of grant from the state of Ohio, bought the land from the Morris family, who apparently had owned it for almost 200 years. And they turned it into a nature preserve with hiking trails. I'm like, this is great. So I've been coming here about, I don't know, maybe at least once a week, running the trails. It's about 4 miles of trails. One of them goes right by Little Miami River. So, I mean, you could actually go up to the river and get your feet wet if you wanted to. The other one goes right up the hill, because behind the barn is a big, huge hill with a bunch of trees. And I always wondered, what's up there, you know? Because it was, private land at the time. You can't just walk into somebody's field. Shouldn't anyways. So, I'm here now. Just did a run. And I'm on top of the hill right now, actually. And it just makes me really happy that I can come to this place and I can explore it. This place that I loved to look at and wonder about as a child. As an adult, I can come here. I can finally explore it. I can see what's out here. And it's great. There's great trails, big trees. You can run through the meadow. It's about 2 miles of trails through the meadow, 2 miles of trails on the trees and the hills. So you get, quite the variety of outdoor activities. You're near a river. It's great. So, just a story made me happy. Thought I'd make you happy too.